Welcome, everyone. Isn't this amazing? I mean, look around you. Can you believe that we're here in this beautiful, beautiful theater? The city of Palm Springs needs a round of applause for breathing life back into our beautiful theater. Dr. Reddy, thank you, and thank your staff. We are so honored to be here today. I'm Nona Watson. I'm the CEO of the Palm Springs Chamber, and I'm here with my current president, John Fritsch.
Yeah, good evening. I'm John Fritsch. I am the president of the Chamber and owner of Elevated Experiences at the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway.
We've got an awful lot of information to give you tonight, and we know your time is valuable, so we're going to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. John will lead you.
If you all please join me in the pledge. Right hand over your heart. All right, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and you can have your seats. And now I'd like to call Rabbi Sally Owens to the stage, and she will give us our invocation.
It is a privilege to be asked to give the invocation at this special meeting given by the Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce. And it is an honor to be surrounded by businessmen and women who care so much about the well-being of our city. And it's a blessing, a mitzvah, to be able to make a difference in our community, whether we own a business or work for a business. No matter what our position, we have an opportunity to make life a little better for someone else, no matter how tedious our task may seem. We each have the capacity to reach our greatest potential. Every new day, God gives us the ability to find new beginnings, new experiences, new choices, and new opportunities to rekindle our passion and our dreams. We each have the power to turn every day into a meaningful day, filled with wisdom, filled with kindness, and filled with integrity. Tonight, we have the privilege of hearing from our mayor and my good friend, Rob Moon, who will give the annual State of the City address on all the great achievements that our city has accomplished this year. And I know with all our help, our city will continue to grow with unwavering spirit, as the biggest thrill you can ever achieve is to live the life of your dreams. God bless you. Amen.
Thank you so much. And as you know, Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce, we're a membership-driven organization, and we're so thankful for our members. But the reason we can put our events on the way we do is the generosity of our sponsors. So this is time to thank our sponsors. The City of Palm Springs.
Eisenhower Health.
The Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians.
Desert Care Network.
United States and Canadian Academy of Pathology.
Grit Development.
El Corso.
Peaks Restaurant, elevated experiences of the Palm Springs Aerial Tramway.
Spencer's Restaurant at the Mountain.
College of the Desert.
Mechanics Bank.
Chill Bar Palm Springs.
McLean Company.
Natural Retreats Palm Springs.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa.
Lulu California Bistro.
The Greater Palm Springs CVB.
Southern California Edison.
Stacy's Palm Springs.
The Lighthouse.
And Libra.
Miralon.
Pacific Premier Bank.
Marinoff, Madsen, Gordon, and Campbell.
Schleck, Schlevlin, and Schonberger.
Jessup Auto Plaza.
Palm Springs Convention Center.
Desert Sun.
Brandini Toffee.
Desert Water.
Palm Springs Disposal Service.
Remax Big Bear.
And I think that's it. And now for the show. So it's with great excitement and a little sadness that we introduce our mayor in what he's calling his fourth and final State of the City. So at this time, our mayor, Robert Moon.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Palm Springs. We had to start this out with a little glitter and glamour, known as in Sparklies too. But to start this evening off, to set the mood, we want to give you a little bit of, JR and I have been working on this. We have a couple surprises for you this evening to kick this off. And we have the first surprise for you. And right now, it's September 25th, 2019. But for just 2 minutes, I want you to imagine it's actually December 12th, 1936. 83 years ago, in these very seats, in this very room, in this very auditorium, with these very lights, with everything almost the same. This is a few moments from 1936.
Nothing's impossible now. Send those people in the other room.
I can't.
Then I will.
And how long do you expect this thing to last?
Now, you've never known love to last, monsieur.
Never, when it was unsanctified by marriage, unblessed by children or social ties.
I shall love Armand always. And I believe he shall love me always, too.
Always.
Always.
I could kill you for this.
I'm not worth killing, Armand. I've loved you as much as I could love. If that wasn't enough, I'm not to blame.
83 years ago, this film and this Plaza Theater on opening night, December 12th, 1936, put Palm Springs on the map. At that time, not a lot of people have heard of Palm Springs, but that night, all the Hollywood stars were here, the golden age of Hollywood, and Robert Taylor with his fiancée Barbara Stanwyck came down the red carpet and sat right over here. And the legend has it that Garbo, who was the biggest star in the world, didn't really like a lot of publicity. So she came partway down the red carpet. She had on a trench coat, a hat, and sunglasses. She went up the steps to the balcony, and she sat right up there in the corner of the balcony to watch the premiere of this movie because she was required to be here. So welcome to 1936. So here we are. So JR, we have some other things for people tonight, don't we?
We do, Rob. So I wish you all could be up here with us to see the beginning of a long dream, which is to see this theater, the Palm Springs Plaza Theater, actually full of people again. So I'm standing up here with Rob because Rob and I make up the chairs for the steering committee, and the steering committee is here tonight. Will the steering committee stand up for me? So those that are here, those that are standing, please applaud for them because, thank you. The steering committee is part of our subcommittee that was created by the City Council to raise the money to restore the Plaza Theater. And we have a tough job. We have to raise between $10 and $12 million to restore this theater. And I know you're sitting here and you're watching us and we have a screen, and yes, the bathrooms will work. But don't sneeze. Be very, very gentle. We got it up and running so that we could share it with you tonight so that you could have this experience. And we also saved a few surprises for you. So one of the things that happened early on is we had a wonderful celebrity that you are all going to be familiar with who did a very special commercial for us that we're going to be able to share on TV and on social media and so forth. And we wanted to preview it here for you tonight.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Lily Tomlin. The city of Palm Springs needs to restore one of its most iconic buildings, the Plaza Theater. It's been the heartbeat of downtown Palm Springs. This historic building has played an impressive role in the history of Palm Springs, and it's showcased many performers like Jack Benny, Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, and so many more. The plaza, which first opened in 1936, is in danger and vitally needs your financial support. Join me in this exciting campaign to bring the plaza back. The restoration cannot happen without you. For more information, go to SaveThePlazaTheaterPS.com. The arts make life better.
How cool is that? So this, again, is just our kickoff. We literally just started the fundraising campaign. And we've got one more exciting thing to show you before Rob officially kicks off with the State of the City. So we've had two very important, very loving, very generous organizations here in Palm Springs step up to kick off the fundraising campaign. And if they could come up to the stage now.
Carefully.
Come on up, guys. Yeah, very carefully. And who you're about to meet right now is you're about to meet Gary Johns, who is the president of the Palm Springs Preservation Foundation, who is giving the city of Palm Springs, for the exclusive use of preserving this theater and restoring it, $50,000.
Thank you.
Oh, you know it. We love it.
And on my left is William Kolpeck, who is the president of Modernism Week. And with William is Lisa Fosler, who is not only a dear friend, but who is, I guess, you're not the executive, what's your official position? Oh my God, excuse me. The executive director of Modernism Week. And I don't have to tell you what Modernism Week is either. And Modernism Week is bringing us $100,000. So it's a lot of love. It's a great kickoff to our fundraising campaign. Part of our secret agenda tonight was to bring you here to experience this. We'll be reaching out to you in the future. But again, just another round of applause for these wonderful organizations.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
So much. Thank you, guys. And I'll take these to the bank now.
Thank you, JR.
Thank you, thank you. Well, enough for the glamour portion of the evening. Now it's time to get to work, to the work of the city. So let's get to this, okay? Okay, welcome to the State of the City 2019. So, thought I'd lost the clicker. I'd be in real trouble. You know, tonight it's going to be a little different. I'm actually going to be able to talk tonight about the last 4 years and what the council has done in the last 4 years. Our current council, plus, you know, Jenny Fote and Chris Mills were part of our council for the first 2 years of the last 4 years. And we've done a lot in the last 4 years, and so we're going to be going over that briefly. And then we have a great video professionally produced by the Convention and Visitors Bureau of our council members talking about all the things about wonderful about Palm Springs and what it means to them and what they want to do for the city of Palm Springs. And then after that, we'll bring you back for a very quick closing and a quick summary, and then you can go out and enjoy Palm Springs. So with that, I'd like several people to thank. The City Council, of course, David Reddy and his staff. You know, would our city staff that's over here please stand up this evening? City staff, come on. Thank you. And actually, Stacy Schaefer, who's our director of facilities, we brought her, JR and I brought her in here a couple of months ago and said, Stacy won't want to use this for the state of the city. And she was like, hey, it took them 2 days to vacuum up the confetti from the last follies. And, but everything's been clean and everything's great. So Stacy, you and your staff did a great job. Thank you to the Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce. This is their event. And our event sponsors, thank you. Grit Development El Corso for the wonderful reception this evening. Thank you. And Palm Springs Audio Visual, have they done a great job tonight? I mean, they are amazing. Palm Springs Bureau of Tourism, thanks for the videos you gave us. Palm Springs Historical Society, they gave me some photos tonight. I want to talk about some historical things about our city. Mike Costley did the Palm Springs Jump music that's going to be in the really cool closing we have for you tonight with something you haven't seen before. And most of all, the businesses and residents of Palm Springs. You are the people who have made all of this possible, so thank you. First thing, residential development is going great guns here in Palm Springs. If you haven't been up to Miralon lately, go see it. Right, the models are now being constructed and will be open soon. The beautiful clubhouse is also being under construction. That area has both single-family homes, condos, and townhouses. There, 64th the Riv, where Sonny Bono had his tennis club next to the Riviera. They're in their third phase and selling out rapidly. The Vibe, right on Tahquitz Canyon, we saw that start just a few months ago, and we're talking here a total of 163 townhouses, and they've told us they expect to have everything finished and everything sold by the end of 2020. It is going so well. So people really want to live here. And then the Icon in the southern part of Palm Springs, just this side of the McLean Mall, also some beautiful homes down there. And Enclave at the Bristow just started. And this one's really important. Yay! The corner of Mesquite and South Palm Canyon, we've had so many developers who their financing didn't come through, it didn't get done. So now Toll Brothers has bought it. Toll Brothers doesn't have to worry about financing. So they are doing this, and we're soon going to have 102 homes there. And the portion that's going to be commercial, they don't do commercial, so they're selling that to another developer who will do the commercial portion. So that is finally going to get done. This is totally unique to Palm Springs and probably unique to California and the nation, but this is the Living Out condominiums. You might take it from the name. Living Out is going to be right here in Tahquitz Canyon, just west of the Marriott, and it's been approved, and it's actually going to be a development that's actually focused on over 55 LGBT community, where people who are LGBT have a place to go and live after they're 55. And this place is going to be amazing. 3 stories, 95-unit condominium building, 61 one-bedroom, 34 two-bedroom. It's going to have a movie theater, a bar, and a restaurant just for the residents, and 5,000 square feet of retail right there on the corner, which is actually going to be a pet clinic and boarding place. So it's going to be a great place. Of course, anybody can live there. They can't discriminate, but it's really being built with the LGBT community in mind. And the Monarch, this is a great project being done by the Coachella Housing Opportunities Corporation. It's on Indian Canyon, and this is going to provide low-income housing for people, and the rent will be based upon their ability to pay. So this is something we've really needed in Palm Springs for a long time. And the architecture of this place, yeah, let's give it a hand. And I'm sure you're going to be seeing more of this in the future. And you can see there's going to be 59 units plus one more for the manager. And they're built in the mid-century style, a total of 106 bedrooms. And as you can see, the plan is to have it in late 2021, the construction going on. I'd be remiss as I talk about our residential communities not to mention 1PS. 1PS, which has been around for over 20 years, now has 57 members, 57 neighborhoods as members. And they're 47. They're soon going to be to 50, so they're doing a great job. Let's talk about our hotel projects. You know, with our convention center and all the things happening here, our hotels are so important to us. And the first one, the Andaz, oh, wait a minute, it's a little slow coming up. Wait, here it comes. There it is. It was a little slow, but they got there. Now, I called Lawrence Rail last week and said, Lawrence, what am I going to say? And he said, he's had trouble with his contractor. He's now gotten rid of that contractor. He's now working with a new contractor, and he hopes his construction will start again soon. And he's telling me he's going to have it finished within the next year or so. So we shall see, and we'll hope it gets done. The Dream Hotel slightly changed. It's now got 40 luxury condominiums. So if you want to buy a condo and have all the services of this beautiful hotel across from the convention center, you can move in there. The Black House. This is something totally unique. There's only one other of these. It's in Costa Rica. It's not vacation rentals, and it's not a hotel. Chris Pardo's designed it, and if you go down there at this address and you look there next to the well in the desert, you can see the fence is up and the construction has started, actually. And it's going to be 16 units that will function like a vacation rental because like the Arrive Hotel, you check in with your phone, you unlock the doors with your phone, everything's done with your phone. If you don't have a phone, you're sunk. But if you lose your phone, you're really in trouble. But you will check in that way, and there's 4 pods, as you can see here. And each of these pods have 4 units. Each one's about 1,600 square feet, and you can rent one or all 4, and each pod will share a swimming pool and a common room with a kitchen. So it's sort of a whole new concept. Let's talk about yesterday, the Racquet Club, 1937. That was right after this place opened, and it really helped put Palm Springs on the map. The Racquet Club is now in escrow, and the developer who has bought it is someone with really good financing, deep pockets, and he also has several big hotel properties he's done in the past. This will get done, I assure you. And it's going to be, yay, finally. And the plan is for 110 hotel units, a spa, conference facilities, and restaurant. And also, the developer has assured us he's going to restore the Bamboo Room. Very famous for the home of the Bloody Mary, which is a staple of Palm Springs. And also, the Frey Design Shift House is going to be restored, and also the swimming pool and tennis court. So that's really great for all of us. The downtown project. You know, the reason we did the reception over there tonight was, you may recall, there's been 2 states of the city where after the State of the City, people went down there once several years ago when Steve Fournier was mayor, and they did a celebration of starting the demolition of the old Fashion Plaza. And then a couple years later, everybody went down there from the convention center after the State of the City and went down there and celebrated the groundbreaking. Now, tonight, we were over there at El Corso and the downtown celebrating. We finished Phase 1. It is working, and it is a great addition to the city of Palm Springs. It wasn't easy. These pictures will remind you of what we went through over the last several years. But this is what we have today. I mean, is there a city in California that wouldn't be proud to have this? And just the simple parts of it. It's so wonderful to go down there in the morning and have coffee at Starbucks and watch the families down there and see the people with their easels painting and the guitar players. I mean, it's just a wonderful town hall for Palm Springs. We have completed now phase 1, 275,000 square feet of commercial, the Rowan Hotel, retail, and the Rowan. I mean, that has really put Palm Springs on the map also for modern days. Everyone wants to stay at the Rowan. And it's Condé Nast named it its #1 hotel for Southern California. And all these places are now open for business. They said it couldn't be done, but the downtown is 100% leased out. And I really, it's sort of a little bit of a secret so far, but I'm going to give you a hint. There's one established Palm Springs business we all love that's moving in there. Unfortunately, one store, Angelini, is moving out, but the space is going to be right there next to House of Pokey. I won't tell you who it is, but I'll give you a hint. So will that be a great addition to downtown? Okay, something that's really, really important, and the City Council works so hard on this with Dr. David Reddy and our city attorneys and our other attorneys to work with Grit Development to get this done. There was always the fear of eventually, after the trials were over, if people were found guilty, and they haven't been yet, if they were found guilty, then there was a thing called a 1090 where the city could claw back certain funds that have been invested by the city in the downtown, where we had sold the property, for instance, the park, and also the TOT for the hotel. That could be clawed back, which would have really been disastrous for the downtown. But also, our attorneys assured us that it could be 10 or 12 years before we actually got to that point in the litigation. And in 10 or 12 years, everything would have been sitting like it is now, with no further development, with the big pit behind the Rowan Hotel, and the foundation of the Virgin Hotel sitting there, and it would have been really bad for Palm Springs. And also, Grit Development could not move forward because with this threat hanging over their heads, they couldn't get funding for the downtown to finish the rest of it, including the Town and Country Center. So it was really important. It was very important for both of us that we get this done, and we did. So this agreement, this doesn't let anybody off the hook for any civil charges, any crimes they committed. It just puts Grit Development off the hook to actually be liable for those things later on. But it wasn't free. In return, we got $37 million worth of property from Grit Construction. And what's really great is most of this is open, undisturbed land. And they were cited for development. They had authorization to do development. But instead of being developed, we can, and I hope we will, it's be up to the council in the future years, to perhaps put a conservation easement on there to make sure that they stay open and for wildlife and for people to enjoy. However, there is also 5.6 acres on Gene Autry, which the council is looking at, and Jeff Kors came up with this idea. Well, this is where we could build affordable housing. It's a great place for it. So we're hoping that now we have that land, we can eventually have the funds to do affordable housing there. And also, we have got Block G, which is the block of property, it's less than an acre, right at the foot on the east side of the parking garage, and it adjoins the downtown park. So we don't know what, we can sell that later on, we can increase the park, we can build a library there, there's all sorts of things we could do, but we have that land. To show you where all this land is, see the outlines in red, and we can see the boulders, which is right down on Chino Canyon Road, and up there Crescendo, which is right on the road going up to the tram, and Block G, which is right there in the downtown. And this land is up on Rimrock. It's right above the Vaughn Shopping Center, which is land that will now be able to stay pristine and open for people to use. And yay! And here's the Gene Autry properties, 5.6 acres, which hopefully will be low-income housing. So that's the first phase. The second phase, 120,000 square feet more of commercial, the Virgin Hotel, hopefully, and redevelopment of the Town and Country Center. Michael Braun has assured me as late as yesterday that was going to be in a fourth phase. He is moving up into the next phase, the redevelopment, the restoration of the Town and Country Center. So that's going to happen much sooner than we thought. And there were some people that said, oh, the city should take it back as part of this 1090, or somebody else should develop it. But it's going to cost about $25 million to restore the Town and Country Center. And Michael has agreed to restore it back to its original. There was some talk of some changes and pushback from the preservation people and from people like JR and others, like, no! So it's going to be restored back to the way it is right now, the way it was in 1940s. And also, it's really best for GRIT to do this because it's going to cost more to do it than it's actually going to be able to generate income. However, for GRIT Development, who owns all that property to the west of it, their tenants don't like having this property across the street, which doesn't look that great. And also with the tribe's development of Section 14, with the arena and with the cultural center and the spa, I mean, we really need somewhere to get between those two areas, so this is going to be the great passageway between the two. So Michael's committed that he is going to do this very soon. Phase 3 will be some more commercial and residential in the downtown grocery store in the new development and multifamily housing. Okay, Palm Springs is the foodie destination of the Coachella Valley. I can't pass this up every year because, I mean, people are coming from Palm Desert to come here to eat now instead of vice versa. I mean, why go all the way out there? You know, they come out here to eat. And some of these, just a few of the new places. Tequila, if you haven't been there, you got to go. The old Watercress, hey, everybody loves this place. El Patron, where Starbucks used to be. Great tacos there. And the 13, which is a Greek restaurant right on Arenas in Palm Canyon. Great Greek food. And Stacy's. I mean, who ever thought they'd see a bar on Arenas with chandeliers? I mean, it is a great place to go. And Glitch, hey, that building is finally open again. And this time it's a video arcade type thing, and you can go there and do free video games. That's the old Dinks, if you don't recognize it. And Inca, this is a South American restaurant in the old 360 building. And also, this is a great place, Gelato Granucci. If you haven't been there, go. Right downtown. And La Bonita, if you like. I know we have a lot of good Mexican food places, but this place is really fun. And the Wine Lounge. I mean, this place is great. I think it's 3,100 square feet of wine lounge, and we'll be talking about this later, but this is in a building that they were going to bulldoze. And so we're so delighted to see this open and functioning. And PS Underground. Hey, yeah, we've all been to their events, and they have great events, but you never know where they are. They move around. The old El Petito across from the Ace the Ace Hotel and Swim Club, they've opened there now, so they're going to have their events there. So that's really great to have. And Stout, Burgers and Beers, opening in the downtown. What's really convenient is this new restaurant with burgers and beer is right next door to the Cycle Place. So you can go here, get a hamburger and a beer, go next door and work it off at the cycle shop, and then you can get in the elevator and go to the high bar and have a martini. I mean, your whole world is in three doors. It's great. Our small business, that's one of the reasons we're here tonight is to celebrate small business in Palm Springs. In fact, small business is big business in Palm Springs. And we're so delighted to see it doing so well. The Palm Springs Chamber of Commerce is really doing great jobs in our city. Hey! And look at their chapter membership. Under Nona Watson and their board of directors, they've had a growth of 76% since 2015. So they're doing a really great job. And you may be familiar with, they have their co-op space there. And they redid the whole Chamber of Commerce building. And it's been so successful where people who want to come to Palm Springs to start a business, they can rent a desk there, rent an office there. They have Wi-Fi, they have telephones, and they can network. It's a great place for them. But it's completely full, no more room. So Nona Watson told me that at the end of next month, they're opening a new space with 10 offices, rooms for a desk, and just like they're doing here. And it's going to be in the West Elm building, right above West Elm, and Michael Braun is helping with that. So we're going to have another place for people to come to Palm Springs and start their small businesses. So that is really great news for all of us. The Chamber has also taken over the Walk of Stars, and they're doing a great job with this. And one thing that's changed, you know, I got started on this like 4 years ago, and things don't happen real fast here sometimes. And it took a while to change this from the person who did it before is really a private business to turn it over to the Chamber to manage, but the City of Palm Springs owns it again. But Nona Watson is doing a great job, and she has 2 nomination committees, one of 5 people, and they're anonymous. Nobody knows who they are except Nona. And they actually review all the applications, and if the people look qualified, they pass it on to the other board, which was about 10 people. Now it's up to 16, and also they remain anonymous so people can't lobby them or criticize them. But most of them are star recipients themselves. So we've got a great way of picking the people for the stars now. So the Chamber's doing a great job with that. The Business Facade Improvement Program, that's been brought back by our subcommittee with Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Coors and Christy Holstage. And this has been a great progress. Thing that people can do is they painted exteriors and awnings, like you can see here. New signage for existing businesses. Signage for new stores. So this is great that it allows these places to get up to $15,000 that they apply to from the city to get their businesses going. And the downtown parking garage has turned out to be great. 1,500 underground parking places right across the street. This is something you might not know. The PUD has been granted for Hacienda, Cantina, and Beach. That place has been a real problem for a long time. But now it's going to be something totally different. It's opening in January 2020. It's going to be the Asia SF Palm Springs. Asia SF in San Francisco opened in 1988, and it's incredibly popular, and it's going to be 8,000 square foot of restaurants called California Asian Food, whatever that is. Full bar, nightclub, entertainment, and it's going to be a real good, fun place to go. The outdoor space, which was a little controversial before because of the noise, will only be available for special functions. They've taken out the DJ booth. They've taken out those big speakers. They've really cut it down where it won't be an annoyance to some of the neighbors that we had before. Cannabis, a big new thing here. Yeah. Cannabis. You know, the city is doing really great on this. We had one of the first cannabis ordinances to really get things moving properly. We've issued 54 cannabis permits, and there's 16 operational businesses right now, including dispensaries, lounges, cultivation, manufacturing, and distribution. The city is very strict. They've shut down 2 illegal places already. And our taxes on this from 18-19 was over $2 million. So we're moving ahead with this in a very organized way. And lounges, which are a big thing now, there's 2 buildings in Palm Springs that have been empty for over 10 years. One is the old food court in north central Palm Springs, which is going to be a lounge now called the Lighthouse. And the bank, which is a big old bank building across from the Chase Bank, that's now going to be a very high-end new lounge. So Palm Springs is doing it, and they're doing it right. So it's great to see. One of the problems we've had, and you know, some of our surrounding cities have a little bit of problem with odor, and so we're very strict on that, and we're making sure that the buildings are very tight. But we actually have this new thing called a nasal ranger. It's an old factory meter. I mean, when we'd have things come up to city council and they'd say, oh, the people in this neighborhood are smelling cannabis, we would have to, the council members, we'd have to go over there and walk around the neighborhood and just sniff and see if we could smell it. Not very scientific. So now we actually have this device to actually go over there and measure this stuff, which is great. Okay, the convention center. Hey. And for those of you who don't know, today is the first day that AEG has taken over full responsibility for the Palm Springs Convention Center. Now, this was not done cavalierly. Mayor Pro Tem Coors and I were on a subcommittee to review this. This is one of the most complex things I've been in the last 4 years. Because we had SMG, which everybody loved. They'd been here for 15 years. But we really needed to review this contract and get some competition. And AEG came in and competed. The problem was that SMG had more convention centers than anyone in the United States. And AEG has a tremendous ability to bring in new events and to really expand entertainment at the convention center, expand the business there. So what do? It was very difficult. Aftab Dada and a group of his people from Palm Springs Resorts interviewed both groups, gave us a lot of advice, and we were sort of on a quandary here, but then guess what? SMG and AEG announced they were merging. So we are going to have the best of both worlds. We're going to have the strength of SMG, and we're going to have the strength of AEG all together in one company, which will be happening in the next few months, that merger. But right now, AEG is officially taken over. A lot of you don't know about AEG. So I'm going to show you a very short video that tells you a little bit about AEG, and you'll see a couple of things in here which will show you why this is a company that we're really happy to have here.
With over 200 world-class convention centers, arenas, stadiums, theaters, and clubs in the most influential cities in the world, AEG knows what it takes to build must-book venues and has the formula to bring all the pieces together. We are committed to attracting, hosting, and expanding events here. Events that bring a global audience to Palm Springs and a community together. At the heart of our success are our people. we are committed to hiring locally and developing a diverse, unique workforce. AEG has also established the most innovative and extensive sustainability support network in the industry. We will bring these resources to the Palm Springs Convention Center and further its standing as an industry leader, both locally and internationally. AEG has one underlying mission throughout everything that we do: to give the world reason to cheer. This principle drives us to attract the biggest, the best conventions, trade shows, and corporate events on the planet. And we believe that together we will bring the convention and meetings business to Palm Springs, giving us all reason to cheer.
So that's a little introduction to the people who are now running our convention center. And you know, it's so important that that convention center have a lot of business, because we do have a very expensive bond to pay on it. It has cost. And every year the city has to subsidize that place by over $1 million a year. So we need more business there. And also, this is how we fill our hotel rooms, how we fill our restaurants, how we get people into the stores in Palm Springs. So it's very important that this place be successful. And you'll also notice in the video, they talk about their commitment to diversity and equality, and also to hiring locally. And also they talk about sustainability, which is something that's very important to our city council and to the residents of Palm Springs. So we're looking forward very much to a very successful partnership with AEG on this. Next. Oop. There we go. Palm Springs tourism. Whoops, that went too fast.
Got no plans tonight. It's gonna be one hell of a show. Ooh, we're headed to the downtown club. It's a place that really no one knows. We go up to the city, up to the limit. We won't stop until we get enough. Shake it all up, shake it all down. Groove into this old school sound.
That started before I was quite ready. But I wanted to point out, this video from the Bureau of Tourism is really good, and it points out that the tourists of Palm Springs today is not what it was in previous years. They're younger, they're more diverse, and they come here from Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, and San Diego, and they're coming here to Palm Springs to have a good time and enjoy all the things we have in Palm Springs, the things that you, with your restaurants and your hotels and your downtown businesses, really make an environment for them. And also, I understand from Mary Jo Ginther that the indications from the data they get from Visa, MasterCard, which shows the amount of charges that are done, it's been going up steadily, like 9% a year, every year for the past 5 years. So that's why you see downtown so busy. It's growing and growing. And it's wonderful to see these tourists coming into Palm Springs. So the next, I'm also told by the Bureau of Tourism and others that one of the reasons these young people are coming to Palm Springs and they're enjoying it so much is they feel safe in Palm Springs. And I think we all feel safe in Palm Springs. I mean, this is a busy city. We have some 5 million visitors a year come here. And we're very fortunate to have our own police and fire department. And we've had our own police department, fire department since like 1938 or something. So there's a lot of cities. I've talked to a lot of elected officials who really wish they still had theirs. And so we're very proud of these guys and women. I know I saw them. I know our fire chief and our police chief are both here. Would you guys stand up? Yeah, we love our police and fire department. And look how busy they are. The 911 dispatch center, which the police operates for both the police and fire, they handled 161,000 calls in the past year. That's a lot of calls, particularly in a city of 48,000 people. And 76,000 of these calls required a police dispatch, and 3,800 of these were calls related to homelessness. So they're very busy. Now, the fire department, they received almost 10,000 emergency calls in the past year. 76% of these were medical emergency calls. And almost 12,000 unit responses had to be sent out for these calls. So these Men and women are busy. They are very busy, and we're so proud to have them here. In the past year, we had 3 very significant fires, the Garrisol fire, the Agua fire, and the Tram fire, which were very significant, and they could have been much worse if our fire department wasn't there quickly with the right equipment and the right training, and they were able to get in there and stop these fires from spreading before they got to be really disastrous. So thank you, fire department. And who will ever forget Valentine's Day 2019? Oy. The fire department that day responded all over town, as did the police department, to people who were stranded and people who were having a lot of problems. And our fire department did 5 swiftwater rescues that day. I mean, those were really difficult to do. So that was a great day for Palm Springs Public Safety to show what they can do. And we're very proud this past year, after $4.5 million of Measure J money, your Measure J money, we actually restored and brought up the new fire station number 4. And what's really great, hey, I'm looking really dorky there, but next to me is Hugh Capter, and Hugh actually designed this building in 1971. And Hugh Capter was brought back to help with the redesign of the building, and so the expansion of it, although it almost doubled, it's now state-of-the-art, is part of Hugh Capter's legacy to the city. So that's really great. And our police department, I mean, we got great police department, but boy, their facilities sucked. Nothing had been done in years, and they didn't have facilities to handle, our female police officers now, for birthing areas and locker rooms and things that were appropriate. They weren't equal. So now they are, and now the whole thing's been redone, $4.5 million in investment in Measure J dollars, and our new police headquarters is great. If you get a chance, go down there and get a tour. So we're going to talk about finance. Hey, see this arrow here? That's the direction things are going. Our general fund revenue is up 71% in the past 7 years. Really remarkable. TOT, that's where you guys with the hotels and the vacation rentals really work hard. It's up 87% in 7 years. This year was $33.4 million. Quite extraordinary. Measure J revenue, I was the chairman of the Measure J Commission when it first started back in 11-12, and the first year we expected to get 7 or 8 million. We got 11 million. We thought, wow. This is crazy. And now look what it's doing, $16.4 million in this past year. And since it began, since 11-12, which was a partial year, we've raised $94.6 million in Measure J funds, which has all been invested in our infrastructure. This just shows where they've gone. Streets and sidewalks, 38%. The downtown projects, 36%. Part of that is because $3.5 million a year comes off the top to pay for the $25 million bond that the city took to help with the downtown. No, we did not give that money to John Westman. That $25 million was used to, no, we did not. We didn't give him any money. But the $25 million was used to buy the garage back, which we had sold him many years before. We bought that back and we totally restored that garage, which those of you who use it know. We built the streets, we did the infrastructure, and we didn't just do simple streets. If you go down there, you see the beautiful streets that are brick-lined and look really nice. So that's where Measure J money went for that bond. So community projects, parks and recreation, police and fire facilities, your Measure J's money is being used well. One of our challenges we have, and every city in California has, is the CalPERS payments. And you can see on here in 16-17, our annual cost of CalPERS for pensions was $13.5 million. And in 22-23, that's going to be $25.8 million. And our employees won't get any more. That's just because it's costing us that much more. Because CalPERS hasn't done a very good job of investing our money to be able to pay these pensions. However, we do have the final solution. Councilmember Lisa Middleton is now on the CalPERS board in Sacramento, so she's going to fix it. But seriously, we're very proud of Lisa to be on that board now. She was appointed by the governor, Newsom. And one thing that the city council is doing, and has been doing for several years because we see this problem coming, is we've been putting money away because we know we're going to need more money in the future years. And you can see now our total cash reserves are up to $38 million, and $22.3 million of that we've set aside just to cover future pension payments. So we've got this covered right now, and we just have to keep putting money away for this and plan for that coming in the future. One thing that's also changing things is attrition. As people leave, employees leave, and new employees come in, The new pension plan is not quite as generous, and it costs us less money. So you can see here over the years, the number of employees under the old pension plan is reducing, number of employees under the new pension plan is increasing. So that actually is already saving us $1 million a year. And that will save us more as the years go by. So we've got ways that we're addressing this pension challenge. Street paving projects, something that's near and dear to everybody's heart. Everybody likes a nice street in front of their home. Now, you know, if you go to a city and you see the streets look good, that makes you know that's a quality city. That makes you know that that city really cares and the city's prosperous. So we really want our streets to look good. And there was a number of years in years past that we didn't invest in our streets enough. But with Measure J, we've been able to turn that around. And you can see here, in the last 7 years, we've invested $51 million in our streets. And we've paved 109 miles, or 40% of all of our Palm Springs City streets, just in the past 7 years. So things are getting much better in that area. Indian Canyon two-way conversion. Some people say, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Well, there's a couple reasons. One, this is being paid primarily from CVAG funds, Coachella Valley Association of Governments, who has money for this type of work within our 9-city group here in the valley. Because actually that stretch of Palm Canyon is one of the most deadly stretches in the entire region. People were being run over there. There was accidents there because people were treating it like the Le Mans, especially on Monday morning. It was like zoom. And so it's really important to correct that. Also, things are changing. Businesses are opening up on Indian Canyon. The tribe is going to be opening up very soon their cultural center and their spa. The new arena is going to be going in over there. So it's really a good thing that we're getting this done now. So this project will be completed by January 31st of 2020. Marcus promises me it'll be finished by that date. Something our council has really been committed to over the past 4 years is preserving our Palm Springs architectural heritage. It's really important to us, and I think it's important to the people in Palm Springs. This is just a little bit of historical trivia. I love Palm Springs historical trivia. Actually, 7 years ago, I really just wanted to be on the Architecture Advisory Commission, the Historic Site Preservation Board, but I decided I wasn't qualified enough, so I ran for mayor. But anyway, when this Plaza Theater was built, there was a ticket booth out front. And the people that were managing the movie house here, in 1977, they ripped it down without checking with the city or anything. And Bill Foster, who was a council member then, was outraged. And later he became mayor, and he spent the next 3 years, it's always taken a while to get things done at city council. He spent the next 3 years working to get something done about this. And in 1981, he successfully brought forward the Historic Site Preservation Board. So this little piece of the Plaza Theater was really important, and we lost that, but we did gain a great organization. And these groups here are all doing great work in Palm Springs. And tonight, thank you for the Modernism Week and Palm Springs Preservation for your generous donation to kick off our fundraising for the Plaza Theater. And thank you for the great work that all of these organizations do. And the City Council has also been working very hard. Vacant and abandoned building ordinance. We all saw for years. Okay, let's be honest here and talk about Town and Country Center. We all know that when John Westman owned that, he bought it, kicked out all the tenants, and he just let it rot. And we had people starting fires in there for vagrants going in there and homeless people, and it was going to fall down. So many buildings in Palm Springs have just fallen into decay because people moved out, let them decay, and then they came to the city and said, hey, this building is not, we can't do anything about it, we got to tear it down. That's not going to happen anymore. We have strict rules in there, and people cannot do that. They have to secure those buildings. They have to make sure that they're taken care of, and they have huge fines if they don't do that. Also, a historic preservation ordinance. We were seeing particularly homes of the 30s and the 40s where people would get a remodel ordinance and they'd tear down everything but 6 feet of wall. You've all seen that. And then they'd build a new house and say they had remodeled. So they can't do that anymore. So every house in Palm Springs that's potentially historic, older than a certain year, is going to get a fair hearing before the HSPB and before the city staff before it actually is allowed to be torn down. Captor Plaza. We were very proud 4 years ago. The first night the council was seated 4 years ago, we voted that night to put a historic preservation on Taquas Plaza, and the bulldozers were in the next block. They were ready to tear it down. And we stopped it by putting a historic designation on this. It was at the very last minute. And look what it looks like now. I mean, it's amazing. And we're very proud that Hugh Captor has been around to help some of these new businesses in remodeling their office. The Cornelia White House downtown. That's taking much longer than we anticipated because it was not, and it was worse shape than we thought it was. Actually, underneath what was holding it up was car jacks. I mean, seriously. It was really sort of falling apart. Well, JR, who's the council person in charge of all things pretty, he took the leadership on this, and this place is really important. It was built by Dr. and Mrs. Wellwood Murray in 1893. And where did they get the railroad ties? Why is there railroad ties? Well, in 1888, there was a gentleman from Boston who came out here because he had, lung problems, and he wanted to invest some of his money, so he built a small gauge, horse-drawn train from downtown Palm Springs out to the far hinterlands where he was trying to do a development. That development was called Palmdale. That's not anything to do with the new current Palmdale we have. This was a development, but it failed. People were not going to live out that far, but it was 1888. People weren't going to live out that far. And so he abandoned it, and people took all the pieces of the railway and used it for other things, including building this house. Oh, by the way, that Palmdale development that failed, that's now called Smoke Tree Ranch. So later it did work. Well, it just wasn't the right time. But anyway, this house was built in 1893, and Cornelia White purchased it in 1914, and she moved it to the Palm Springs Hotel, which she had bought from Wellwood Murray, and then on Talquitz Canyon Way in 1945, and then she moved it to the Village Green in 1979, or she didn't move it, it was moved in 1979 to the Village Green, where now it's being restored so people in the future generations can see this building. It is one of the oldest existing residences in Palm Springs. Of course, the oldest one, the Adobe, is right next door to it. So it's a wonderful thing we need to save. The Town and Country Center, I mean, this was the first example of modern architecture in Palm Springs in 1948. And it needs to be saved, and it's going to be saved. You'll notice the outside has been painted, and Grit Construction hired people who came in and they scraped with dental tools down to the lowest level of paint, and they used spectrographic analysis to find out what the original colors were. I mean, who remembers 1948 when this was painted? So the postcards were all painted postcards, so who knows? So they actually have painted the outside of it all with the original colors, and you're going to see this get restored sooner or later. Excuse me, sooner rather than later. And Michael's told me that he is now scheduling completion of this restoration for fall of 2021. So, hey, let's hold him to that. And you might know, anybody seen the vape shop there that's on Palm Canyon? If you sort of look through the windows of that thing, you can see inside it's got a curved ceiling, and they're painted blue and gold, and it's beautifully ornate. That was one of the original entrances to the Town and Country Center. And you went in on Palm Canyon, and you went through that, and as you came out the other side, you were looking right towards those iconic steps that went up to the Town and Country restaurant. So that's really important. And Michael Braun has promised me personally that he is going to restore that passageway, so we will have that beautiful passageway restored to what it used to be as one of the entrances at the Town and Country Center. So thank you, Michael, and we're going to hold you to that. Okay. JR's been talking. It was in the paper. Okay, Marilyn, everybody wants her to come back. Everybody asks about it. But where she's going to be, I mean, there's a place right there in the east side of the park, which has been designed for her. And it's right next to where the Virgin Hotel is going to be, so we were going to call her the Virgin Maryland. But there's some questions on whether that's the best place for her. And then there's some other places that have been looked at. And this week when I was over there with Michael Braun, he told me that he and Oftab in Palm Springs Resorts have got a new idea that they're working on. And Palm Springs Resorts, as you know, is raising the money to buy her. The city is not putting any city funds into it. It's all private money from Palm Springs Resorts. It's sort of private money. Palm Springs Resorts. And they've been working with Michael Braun, and they've come up with sort of an interesting idea. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but this is the newest idea, and it is so cool, so interesting, so it's going to be controversial. I wanted to show you. And Oftab tells me, I called him up, said, Oftab, is this for real? And he said, absolutely. So when you see Oftab, give him your opinion. But, Maryland has been sort of lost. And she's sort of been looking around for a new home. Like, where does a 24-foot woman go? And so there's an interesting idea of where to put her. Again, this is just an idea, but this is the new idea. She just may very well land in the center of the Town and Country Center. Oh, some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. She's 24 feet high. The buildings are 22 feet high, so she's slightly taller. So if you like it, tell off top. If you don't like it, tell off top. And this is one of the ideas. Well, she's going to land somewhere in Palm Springs. We just don't know where yet. Okay, the rebirth of an icon. Thank you all so much for coming here. And like JR said, we wanted you to come here and see this place. And I've got to thank Stacy Schaefer and her staff of facilities. I mean, again, what a great job they did. What a great job. And you know, another thing important about this building, Julia Cornell built it in 1936. She stayed at the Desert Inn almost every year. She was from Dayton, Ohio. Her husband was the comptroller and one of the founders of National Cash Register. In the 1930s, NCR, National Cash Register, was like the IBM of today. I mean, they were huge, or the Microsoft of today. And she was like filthy rich. And she actually decided to build the Plaza Shopping Center, which she did. And she bought all the land, did all this building. And she spent like $4 million, which was a lot of money today. So really a lot of money in 1936. But she did this, and here she is at the ribbon cutting. And what was really interesting that an architect named Harry Williams had been the architect of the NCR building in Dayton, Ohio. And he did a lot of work there, and she really liked him. So she brought him to Palm Springs to design the downtown Plaza Shopping Center and this Plaza Theater. And he loved it here so much that he stayed. I mean, who wants to go back to Dayton, Ohio when you can be in Palm Springs? And he saw what was happening in Palm Springs, so he stayed. And he had his family here. And two of his family were E. Stewart Williams and Roger Williams. So if it hadn't been for Julia Cornell, and it hadn't been for this theater, and it hadn't been for Harry Williams, we would not have our mid-century architecture in Palm Springs. So see how all this theater ties into everything else in the history of Palm Springs. And I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the visionary women who built Palm Springs. I don't use a script, but I didn't want to forget some things. You know, Nellie Kaufman, she's considered the mother of Palm. We don't have a father of Palm Springs. We don't have a founding fathers. We have founding mothers in Palm Springs. And she came to Palm Springs in 1908. And she built the Desert Inn. Well, in 1917, she wanted to change the Desert Inn from places for people with tuberculosis to being a really nice commercial hotel. Her husband said it was impossible, she couldn't do it, so she did the logical thing. She divorced him and he left. That was 1917. And by 1928, she had this beautiful hotel on 35 beautiful acres of land. And she had built the first swimming pool in Palm Springs. So she was also noted for being very generous. She was like the Harold Matzner of her age. She helped people out all the time. She was a great lady. And another person I wanted to mention was Pearl McCallum McManus. Her father was the first white settler in this area, first permanent white settler in this area. And she was living in Los Angeles. She came here about 1917. And she was the largest landowner in Palm Springs at the time. And she was sort of land poor. She didn't have much money, but she had a lot of land. So as the land became more valuable, she did a lot of things with it. One, she built the tennis club in 1937. And that was also another thing that really brought people to Palm Springs. And she also sold the land to the city of Palm Springs to build the Palm Springs Airport. So this woman was also very important in our history. Cornelia White. I mean, she bought land from Wellwood Murray. She built the Palm Springs Hotel, and she actually took really a lot of the overflow from Nellie Kaufman's hotel, and she did a really great job here. And she actually gave the land to build the library, the Wellwood Murray Library there, and she also gave the land to build the first Desert Museum, which later became the Palm Springs Art Museum. But it was on another piece of land downtown, not where it is now. And she was known she really broke all the rules. She was a big horsewoman. She'd ride around Palm Springs in trousers and a pith helmet, which wasn't done in those days, but she did it. So these were incredible women here in Palm Springs. A couple more. Ruth Hardy. Ruth Hardy was the first woman council member on the Palm Springs City Council. She was on the City Council from 1948 to 1960 and did a lot of really great things. One of the things she did that was really great, it was her idea to put the palm trees down Palm Canyon and light them. So you have her to thank for those. So she was really a great leader in Palm Springs. Harriet Cody. She was a Vassar graduate, came here. She loved horses. She had 35 horses at her stable. She really did a lot for horsemanship here, and she developed the Cody Inn. What is it? The Casa Cody. Yes. So she developed the Casa Cody. But I saved the best, not the best, but I saved one of the most interesting for last. Zadie Bunker. Anybody heard of her? She came here in 1914. And when she came here in 1914, she became one of the biggest business owners in Palm Springs. She was an incredible businesswoman. And also, this is a woman whose husband left her because she had ideas for Palm Springs, and he didn't, so she kicked him out. This woman was an auto mechanic. In 1917 or something like that, she actually built an auto mechanic garage on the side of the Current Plaza, the shopping center downtown. And she did that, and she started making money, buying up land, and she became very wealthy. And she saw business opportunities. So she became the first woman in the entire state of California with a chauffeur's license, and she would chauffeur people between the train station and the hotels downtown. So she was the very first one in the entire state of California to have a chauffeur's license. At 63, she got her first pilot's license. At 66, she was qualified in multi-engine, and at the age of 66, she flew solo from Palm Springs to Washington, D.C. National Airport, and she was met at National Airport by then Vice President Richard Nixon, and then she left from National Airport, she flew to Paris, and she gave a letter from the mayor of Palm Springs to the mayor of Paris. So this was in the 1950s, early 1950s. And because of her aviation prowess, when she was 76 years old, she was inducted as an honorary colonel in the U.S. Air Force. And she passed the flight physical at the age of 76. And then in 1980, the Air Force let her fly an F-100, and she became the first woman in history to fly faster than the speed of sound. So, I mean, these are the women who built the foundations of Palm Springs, the late 1800s, early 1900s. And if you stop to consider, they didn't even have the right to vote when they were doing all this work. So we owe a lot to these women who did this. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the All-Women Council of the Agua Caliente Tribe of Cahuilla Indians. These women were amazing. This picture is from 1955. I ripped it off the Desert Sun, thank you. But their chair, Viola Ortner, she was something. And these women they made multiple trips to Washington, D.C., and they did something that you can't do anymore. She got Congress to pass a law. And President Eisenhower signed into law a new law that allowed the tribe to lease their land for 99 years, which they were never able to do before. And if these women had not gotten that done by Congress, we would not have the Palm Springs we have today. So we have a lot to thank these women for. They also wrote the first constitution and the first bylaws for the Agua Caliente Tribe of Cahuilla Indians. And these women got together and raised $2 million to build the Spa Hotel. So talk about a bunch of accomplished women. They were tremendous. And so those are the women who actually built the foundations of the city we now call Palm Springs. Now, back to the day. Airline passengers. I'm not going to read all these numbers, but look at the increase in the number of passengers in our airport that's going on. I mean, it's phenomenal. The number of commercial flights are going up double digits. And this new flights this last season included Boston on JetBlue, Atlanta on Delta, and Newark on United. And the people who go to Sacramento, like Lisa does all the time, and I saw Senator Jeff Stone here tonight. Thank you, Jeff Stone, for joining us. Who go to Sacramento a lot, they're going to be happy because this season we're going to have daily flights to and from Sacramento on Contour Airlines. I mean, who wants to go to Idlewild to catch a flight to Sacramento? So this is going to be great for people who go there frequently. The airport enhancement projects, the ticketing wing modernization project, which is going to be getting underway soon, major construction in the off-season in 2020. You notice it's $36 million, but $14 million of that is going to be for a state-of-the-art baggage handling system, which is going to be phenomenal for our airport. New car rental facility is going to be built, the design process. We recently approved the contract for that. That's going to be a large new modern facility just outside the north end of the terminal. and it's going to be a great improvement from what we have now. They're going to completely redo the concession system that they have right now. Ours are nice now, but they're going to be really, really class when you see these after $10 million of investment. And new airport aircraft rescue and firefighting trucks for $2.5 million. I've got to mention vacation rentals. So, hey, we worked hard on this. In my gavel, I show people my gavel, one of our earliest meetings, I have all these chips off the end of my gavel. And it's for the first night we had a meeting on vacation rentals. There were so many people in the council chambers you couldn't move, and they were so rowdy that I broke my gavel trying to get them under control. But that has totally changed now because the great vacation rental ordinance we have now is working. It's strict and it's tough, but it works. And you can see the numbers here. When we first put the ordinance in place in 2017, there was 2,055 vacation rentals. And that dropped down after we put the ordinance in place because a lot of people said, I don't want to deal with these rules. And that's fine. If they didn't want to deal with the rules, thank you, goodbye. But by 2019, it was leveled off to 1944, which we see it sort of continuing to stay about that number. But look at the taxes. From 16-17, it was $7.6 million. This year, $9.3 million in taxes from our vacation rental business. District elections. Other cities are struggling with this, and we actually moved through it fairly painlessly. The transition to district-based elections was tough, but the City Council, led by Mayor Pro Tem Coors and Councilmember Middleton, put together a really good program for this. It was a 9-month process with over 35 community meetings and public hearings. Over 40 maps were submitted by the community and the professional demographers. The maps were making our heads swim. It was crazy. But right now, the results, we have 5 districts in the city of Palm Springs, each with approximately 9,000 residents. And in November 2019, districts 1, 2, and 3 will elect their council members from their district, someone who has to live in their district. And in 2020, districts 4 and 5 will elect their council members. A lot of people may not know this, but we were also required to go to even years by Sacramento. And it was going to be sort of hard to do, so Councilmember Middleton and Councilmember Holstage volunteered to cut their current term from 4 years to 3 years, so they'll be running in 2020 in districts 4 and 5. So that gives us, with the law, a little bit earlier than would have otherwise. So the people running for districts 1, 2, and 3 this year are running for 3 years, and so their terms will be up in 2022. And the districts 4 and 5 will be 2020, and then 2024, and then we'll be we'll be observing the law of even years. So thank you, Lisa and Christy, for allowing to do that. They had the option of extending their term for a year. I noticed neither one of them did that. The homelessness. This is something just like pension challenges that every city is dealing with. And we've actually dealt with it much better than most cities have. And I'm not going to read all these things to you, but look at all the things our city's been doing on this. We've increased the dedicated mental health professionals from 2 to 4. And Riverside County, who's supposed to pay for a lot of this, they got some issues financially, and they have not been able to provide these services to us, although we pay for them. So our city council has been using our general fund money to pay for people from Riverside County to come here to do this work, and now we've increased it from 2 to 4. And that's really important. And we've increased the dedicated community service officers from 1 to 2, and the number of police officers from 1 to 2. So we've got a lot of people dedicated full-time to being out there 7 days a week to ensure that we provide as much support as we can for our homeless people. And every year we've been spending $1.25 to $1.5 million, and you can see here what the money's been going for this year, the $1.5 million we allocated to this. But thanks to our homeless subcommittee, which is Mayor Pro Tem Coors and Councilmember Holstage, they went to Sacramento, and we all know Jeff is a professional lobbyist. It's always good to have one in the house. And they went up there and working with Chad Mays was able to deliver $10 million to the city of Palm Springs. And of course, we don't know how this money will be spent yet. It'll be spent to support our homeless programs, but there'll be a lot of community meetings and a lot of discussion before anything is actually decided what we're going to do with that money. I like to say it takes a village, and our partners in the future of Palm Springs are really great. One of our partners is the College of the Desert. Hey. Dr. Joel Kinnaman is here tonight. He's a College of the Desert is actually a sponsor of this event tonight for the Chamber of Commerce. This is a game changer. I mean, this is probably the most exciting thing to happen in Palm Springs in 80 years, that we're going to have a college here. And actually, Dr. Kinnaman gave me some slides. I said, Joe, tell me something I can tell people they might not know. So he gave me this. The College of the Desert is going to be sort of unusual, and it's going to really be, from the very beginning, integrated into our community here. And you can see here, they're actually going to have their own small boutique hotel, restaurant, and event space, where in their hospitality school, their students can actually learn on campus how to run these organizations, and then they'll be able to come into our city and intern and also get jobs. So this is an amazing, amazing thing for the city of Palm Springs. College of the Desert has some people really good in PowerPoint. These are really fancy. Okay, we say Palm Springs is like no place else. Well, Dr. Kinnaman is saying College of the Desert is a place like no other. And together we're going to make great partners. We've talked about this, and this is really unique. They have a 23 acre plot of land right on Tahquitz Canyon. People come from the airport. All those thousands, millions of people every year are going to drive right by it. So I know the College of the Desert is committed to making a beautiful campus. And what's great is they have the money to do the whole thing at one time. It's not going to be piecemeal, this year, 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, 8 years. It's all going to be done at once, and it's going to be an incredible asset to the city of Palm Springs. And they're going to be working with Digicom Learning and their School of Digital Filming. Also, Cal Poly Pomona School of Architecture is going to have a coordination program where our students can go here and then go to Cal Poly to finish their architecture degree, and people from Cal Poly can come do their year in the desert, or 40 days and 40 nights, whatever. And they can come here and study our incredible architecture that we have. So this is going to be really great. And the Palm Springs Hospitality Association, Palm Springs Resorts, and more are all working with the College of the Desert on this. Here's the information you might not have known. And thank you, Joel. Demolition will be complete by the end of 2019. Design and approval process will be 18 to 24 months. The first phase will open for students in December of 2022. That is, how great is that? And the remaining phases will be available in 2023. So 4 years from now, we're going to have a full-flown campus right here on Tahquitz Canyon. And our other partner in the city of Palm Springs, Algonquin Tribe of Kuya Indians, with our checkerboard pattern, we're very unique in the way the city's set up, and they are our partners in Palm Springs. And their cultural museum is really exciting. It's going to be very similar to the one the Smithsonian has in Washington, D.C., same architectural firm, and it's going to be really similar to that. It's going to bring people from all over the country to come see this and learn about the 5,000-year or more history of the Algonquin Tribe of Kuya Indians here in the valley. And it's also going to have the new spa, which people are going to enjoy. I understand they're even going to have like a snow room in the spa, so after you get out of the sauna, you can go sit in the snow. Go figure. So this is going to be Jeff Gruby told me, Chairman Gruby told me they expect this could bring 100,000 tourists a year to Palm Springs. And the arena. The arena is going to be a game changer here in Palm Springs. It's going to bring a lot of event to Palm Springs. And a lot of people are concerned about the parking, the traffic, etc. But I can assure you, the city of Palm Springs, our staff, is already working with the staff at the Algonquin Tribe on parking, on traffic, on roads, and road construction, and what we need to do to make this work. And I know, based upon previous years, that the tribal staff and our staff will work really closely together, and they will make this work. And this is going to be a tremendous addition to the city of Palm Springs. Now, special movie for you I told you about. Here are your city council members talking about all the great things here in Palm Springs.
As I look out over our beautiful city, I am in awe, I am proud, and I'm really hopeful.
Palm Springs is a standout. It's a little engine that could. It just keeps going and going. It keeps evolving, and all the while, it keeps that unique charm that makes it such a special place.
Palm Springs, this place, my home, really does satisfy. It's a village with something for everyone, and we want everyone at our party. Nobody is excluded. Palm Springs is human life at its best. It's unique, and it can't be replicated.
For some, Palm Springs is the city of their birth or their youth. It is a place that has always been home. But for most, Palm Springs is a city of choice. the city you chose to visit, the city you wanted to return to, the city that tugged at your heart until it became the city you called home, the city you believe is the best place you have ever lived.
We are an inclusive, world-class, vibrant city that offers an incredible quality of life for all residents.
The residents of Palm Springs are really just expats from other big cities who come for the small town character without the small minds. And those who were born here, raised here, and who could never really think of living anywhere else. This is what makes up our large quilt of diversity, intelligence, and acceptance.
Our residents are incredible. They're engaged and caring, and they're focused on moving our city forward. I'm always so inspired by their commitment to help their neighbors and help the community. And it's because of their support that we've been able to increase revenue to fully staff our police, fire, and emergency medical, pave our streets, preserve open space, and revitalize our downtown.
The arts, architecture, mountains, climate, restaurants, events, they are all so wonderful. But you stay in love with Palm Springs because of the people.
To me, Palm Springs is special and unique because we have world-class amenities, but we have a small town feel. And so people know each other, you know your neighbors, you know your merchants of the businesses that you go to. And so there's a small town community and a real community that doesn't exist in other cities, but we still can go to rooftop bars and go to amazing world-class restaurants and, you know, experience arts and culture in a way that you can't usually experience in small cities.
I'm so happy to be here to welcome Taco Bell and do this pop-up Taco Bell hotel. We're really grateful for your investment in Palm Springs. Thank you to the community for being here.
Our history, architectural identity, and connection to Hollywood make us a very fascinating destination. The Plaza Theater Restoration Project is a perfect example of that. We're taking an incredibly iconic yet dilapidated building and restoring it to its 1936 glory. When the Plaza Theater opened in 1936, it opened with a world premiere of the film Camille with Greta Garbo, which ultimately won an Academy Award. As you can see, this theater is fully intact. It's all here. The beautiful stencil work and paint is still around the proscenium and on the columns. The architectural resources that are in our town are part of our brand. They're not only part of our history, they're part of who we are today. If we don't look after them, if we don't polish them, if we don't restore them, we lose the very thing that makes us unique and special, and that one thing that draws people from all over the world. It's a truly important part of our history. The Town and Country Center, which is another gem in our community, is finally going to see the light of day. It's a historic and beautiful downtown center that sat vacant for years. The Town and Country has been very controversial because for the longest time, it was slated to be torn down as part of the new downtown project. Our city council saved it, and it now has a Class 1 designation, and more importantly, we're working closely with the developer to actually restore the Town and Country Center to its original glamour and beauty.
Palm Springs has become such a great art community, from our great galleries to Desert X and this beautiful museum. We're so fortunate to live in this oasis of art and culture that really is amazing for a city of 45,000 full-time people. I'm really proud of what our city and our businesses and the council and staff have done to create this new vibrancy and renaissance that is Palm Springs.
So here we are in what's known as the Art Pit. And the Art Pit is an example of Palm Springs becoming the arts and culture center that it was always meant to be. It's one more puzzle piece in our new downtown. The other puzzle piece that's important is the new park. And that's going to break ground hopefully by the end of this year. And it will make our new downtown as desirable for residents as it is for tourists.
We love our local businesses here in Palm Springs, from the windmill tours to ice cream shop, to our local clothing stores, and of course, the fabulous Buzz Trolley. You know, the Buzz provides a safe way for people to go out and party and have a great time. I think it offers so much to our businesses and our residents and our visitors who really get to benefit from not needing to use a car, not have to worry about parking, and just enjoy themselves. And they can go from one restaurant to a store to a bar to another without ever having to pay and without ever having to worry about a car. And that's great.
Neighborhood organizations positively affect philanthropy, quality of life, and tourism. From our neighborhoods come our history, culture, personality, and our passionate residents. I am the council liaison for 1PS, which is comprised of volunteers representing 48 unique neighborhoods. The group gives voice to public issues. This spring, Neighborhoods USA held their conference at our convention center and brought hundreds of neighborhood leaders from all over the country to learn about strengthening relationships.
Our community has accomplished great things, from an international film festival to Splash House, and we're now known as one of the most pet-friendly cities in the nation.
We have a world-renowned animal shelter, and so we're really proud to be such a pet-friendly destination and community. The dog park is central to Palm Springs. We have a community here of people who come every day, every morning or evening. So it's really an incredible place, and really want to continue to support pets in Palm Springs.
While growing in really sophisticated ways, we've managed to incorporate vacation rentals as another lodging option, and even cannabis for its many recreational and healing properties.
There's no other city with 45,000 full-time residents that has an international airport with direct flights to 20-plus cities and the incredible weather and natural environment that Palm Springs has. It truly is like no place else.
There's a line in Palm Springs that we don't shake hands here, we hug. We have this special, unique place that is all about human interaction, human connection. Every day I interact with people who make me proud of the city that I live in, who make me humble in the work that I get to do. And I do love Palm Springs.
We need to continue to be a positive beacon for the entire valley by being innovative and open-minded, and encouraging a broad range of new businesses, art, and culture.
Palm Springs is a world-class destination that is the most diverse and inclusive place I've ever lived. And I think what's happened in Palm Springs is a model for the nation and the world.
My dream for Palm Springs is that we build a welcoming community for all, that we continue to be the capital of cool by remaining progressive, innovative, and forward-thinking. At the end of the day, I see the Palm Springs of our past, present, and future.
So is Palm Springs cool? Yeah, we're cool.
Oh, JR is Mr. Cool. But thank you for the City Council for putting that together, and for the Greater Palm Springs Convention and Visitors Bureau for putting together this extremely professional production. Thank you very much. You know, there's no I in team, you know, and the City Council is a team who has to work together. You truly have 45 or 48 ad hoc committees and subcommittees, which is sort of mind-boggling. But everything we do is done as a council. And over the last 4 years, we've been very fortunate to have an incredibly talented council who has worked very hard. And these 7 people have done tremendous work in the past 7 years. Just a few of these I want to highlight. In the last 4 years, we've set aside $22.3 million for future pension costs. The general fund's up 34%. 90 miles of roads have been repaired for $34.3 million. We've actively supported a historic preservation resurgence. We've rewritten the downtown specific plan and completed phase 1 of the downtown. We've funded the first phase of the general plan update. We've approved the Palm Springs portion of the CV Link and opened the first segment. We've completed agreement with GRIT on the 1090, allowing downtown development to continue. We've designed and funded a new downtown park. We've written and implemented a comprehensive cannabis ordinance. We have tourism boom uptown, downtown, and all around the town all year round. We've funded and completed a total renovation of Palm Springs Police Department headquarters and Fire Station number 4. We've written and implemented a landmark vacation rental ordinance. Voters have approved this vacation rental ordinance with a positive vote of 70% yes votes. And we created a historic preservation ordinance. We wrote and implemented a new vacation and abandoned building ordinance. We brought police and fire staffing to almost 100%. We've successfully negotiated new employment contracts with 6 city employee unions. That was not easy. And we negotiated a new management lease for the new convention center, which started today. We met and exceeded all requirements of the California Voting Rights Act. We created 5 new districts and changed the future election years to even years. We have voters passed Measure D to help fund public safety. The voters passed Measure E to tax cannabis, cultivation, and sale. We saved the Tacos Plaza, renamed it Captor Plaza. We saved the Town and Country Center. And for all of that, I want to say thank you, Palm Springs. And on a personal note, I want to say thank you to all of you for all the work you've done in Palm Springs. But from a personal note, thank you for all your support for me over the last 4 years, for allowing me the honor and privilege of serving this great city as your mayor. And I'd really be remiss if I didn't thank my husband, Bob Hammock, for his 38 years of patience with me and his help over the past 4 years. So with that,
I gotta get my luggage packed. I'm leaving town, I won't be back. Jump, jive, dance, and swing. We're going down to Palm Springs.
Everybody keep your seats. We have one more very important piece of business.
Go watch the youngest swing. Everybody jumping down.
Everybody stay in your seats for one more
While the
minute.
snow is falling.
it's almost over.
On the mountaintop, I hear the music calling. It never, 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 never stops. If you want a dancing song, come on down where you belong. If you want to have a fling, come on down to Palm Springs.
Palm Springs 2019 State of the City, we're rocking it. So thank you all of you for coming out tonight, and thank you for being here in the Plaza Theater for the 2019 State of the City. Thank you very much.
We have one more announcement to make. You know, in a few days, our mayor is having a birthday. And we thought, what better way to thank him for everything he's done for this city than to have everybody in this beautiful theater sing happy birthday to our mayor. And we have a birthday cake. Now, because I can't sing, I'm turning it over to the professionals.
Actually, Saturday, I'll be 70.
This is your opportunity to say you sang in the historic Plaza Theater. You ready? I'll pick a note we can all live with, bipartisan note. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Robert. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep. Oh, it's heavy. Oh.
Make a wish, blow out the candles. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys. This is so sweet. Thank you. And thank you all for being here. And we'll see you downtown.
And take your complimentary cup on the way out. Enjoy our downtown.
How'd it go?